Hello there, this is James Oscrofty, 1978, and having now watched the Japanese movie Boko wa Ashita Kino no Kimi to De to Suru, Tomorrow I Will Date with Yesterday's You, or to give the more poetic title in English, My Tomorrow, Your Yesterday. The problem is that although the premise is technically given away in the title, the fact remains that this is one of those films that it's almost impossible to talk about without spoilers. And yes, that reference was definitely intentional. So proceeding into the full spoiler territory here, and if that bothers you, then the link to the full movie is listed down as the underbar, and although the subtitles aren't perfect, they're still good enough to clearly understand everything that's being said. Even if you know what I mean when I say The Doctor and River Song, I would still recommend this movie anyway, because while in that series the same premise was little more than a plot contrivance and romantic subplot, this film remains laser-focused on the emotions of the two protagonists, the pain that they feel, and thus the beauty of the brief time that they spend together, with the man feeling confused when he holds hands with her for the first time and she starts crying, because it's the last time that she will ever do so. Are you also feeling confused hearing that? Well, that's another reason to see this film, because the premise is so counterintuitive that it's something we need to see playing out before us in order to even begin to understand it. However, especially if you've seen enough of the new Doctor Who to say, yeah, been there, seen that, I would still recommend this movie anyway, because, as I suggested a moment ago, the premise is merely the platter on which the emotions of the protagonists are served. After all, the entire reason why I adore so much East Asian cinema to begin with is precisely because, rather than merely being protagonists, antagonists, comedy sidekicks, love interests, or what have you, who simply have to be there, otherwise the film can't play out, or even worse, the studio believes that it won't give us what we want, and therefore it won't secure a high enough gross on opening weekend. In the East Asian cinema that I adore in particular, the characters, their relationships and their emotions are the story. Thus, not only showing us what the characters are going through, but doing everything within its power to make us genuinely empathise with their struggles, their pain and their joy, and having each endured the agony of knowing that they only have a month together and that the more memories they build, the less that the person who they love even knows who they are. The understanding that their lives are connected on some grand cosmic scale eventually gives each of the lovers true hope, joy and peace.